Woo, we're back. Welcome back to another video, everyone. So, for however long now, it's been a huge topic of discussion as to whether Robert Pattinson should be Batman in the DCU or whether we should just let him do his own thing in Matt Reeves' Batman universe and cast a new Batman for the DCU. Just to give you a little bit of backstory, Robert Pattinson is my favourite live action Batman. He's got my favourite live action Batsuit, Batmobile, story. Like, it's my favourite Batman film. But I'm a firm believer that we should get a new Batman in the DCU and just let Matt Reeves do whatever he wants with Robert Pattinson in his universe, and we can have them as Elseworld stories. My job today is to try and convince you that Robert Pattinson should not be the DCU's Batman. Just quickly before I get into the topic though, I do want to say you might notice I'm wearing this new TGS t-shirt. So in all of my videos, I try to wear something that relates to the topic that I'm talking about, but it's just not practical because I'm going to be talking about such a wide range of things. It doesn't make sense to try and buy a t-shirt or a hat that matches to what I'm talking about in the video. So it's got the logo on it. It's also got a little bit of branding there. And then it has a huge one on the back right there. I don't even know if that was in frame, but we'll see. So I've got written down a few key points that I want to talk about as to why I don't think he should be the DCU's Batman. Point number one. Robert Pattinson's Batman is just too grounded for what I want in the DCU. We know the DCU is going to be like a comic book come to life, whereas Matt Reeves' Gotham and his take on Batman is very grounded and realistic as a man dressed as a bat can be. I think Robert Pattinson suits villains such as Hush, the Court of Owls, the Riddler, for example, very mentally challenging opponents, and I think that's where Robert Pattinson's Batman could thrive. And I want to see the DCU Batman fight people like Poison Ivy, Clayface, Mr. Freeze, even Man-Bat would be fucking awesome to see. I just want to see these more supernatural, fantastical villains in the DCU, and Robert Pattinson's Batman is just too grounded. Now, I know it is only his first film and you could retcon most of it, but then I feel like you're ruining something that was so good. I think the smart thing for James Gunn to do would be to let Matt Reeves use the Hush, the Court of Owls, Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter would be fucking awesome to do. Even Scarecrow, and like, I'm not saying you can't use these villains in the DCU, but I just think you should main them in Matt Reeves' universe. I would love to see Matt Reeves' Batman go up against Scarecrow and have a real deep like look into Batman's mind. And I'd love to see the DCU's Batman go up against Mr. Freeze or a giant plant monster that Poison Ivy's created. There's really a lot more possibilities. I also think there's a sense of security in it. If I am not a fan of the DCU's Batman and the general audience isn't a fan of the DCU Batman, we all have Matt Reeves to fall back on with Robert Pattinson. Obviously, I think the DCU Batman has the potential to be the greatest Batman take on live action ever. But just in the odd chance, and I think it is important to consider, if it doesn't do well, if we don't like that film, if we don't like that take on Batman, we have Robert Pattinson's take and we know that we like that and that's something good that we can fall back on while they fix whatever they did with the DCU Batman. Which leads me on to my second point. If we completely get rid of the idea that there could be another Batman, and let's say Matt Reeves' Batman 2 or Batman Part 3 doesn't do as well as the first one did, and it's not as good, which I'm not saying it will, because I think if anyone can pull off a sequel, it's Matt Reeves. But I think that the idea of having a Batman in the DCU that's more fantastical opens a lot more doors for the general audience. You could absolutely see that version of Batman thriving, and I think that is something that I really want to see. Is I want to see a different Batman thrive. The way I think you have to look at it is two pieces of chocolate cake is better than one. I really don't see the issue with having two different Batmen. It's not going to confuse the general audience because Matt Reeves' Gotham is so grounded and realistic that it's so clearly not a part of the DCU, and it's so clearly not in the same world that this Superman movie that the general audience have watched and loved. I just really want to see the new Batman thrive, and I want to see him do well at the same time as Matt Reeves' Batman. My next point is I think the Batman is a near perfect Batman film. In the odd case that incorporating him into the DCU doesn't work, I'd rather just take a new Batman, and I want to preserve what we have. Look at it like this. Robert Pattinson's take on Batman and Matt Reeves' take on Batman is so beloved for a reason. We love it because of how the writing is and because of how the story plays out. And that's just because of Matt Reeves' style. And I'm not saying that he can't write a film in the style that fits the DCU, but I think if you leave Matt Reeves to just do what Matt Reeves does, the film's going to come out a lot better than having to fit it around a certain schedule and criteria. Look at Spider-Man 3. That film could have been great. Sony decided to chuck in Venom and Little Goblin Jr.
gonna cry?
I just think that having Batman Part 2 and 3 that's so drastically different from Part 1 isn't really what the general audience is going to want to see. Look at Joker. Joker 1 is a near masterpiece of a film, I would say. For a Joker origin story that's Elseworlds and it's sort of a different take on it, it's incredible. And then Joker 2 was just...
How about I get you what you fucking deserve?
Never gonna rush him if I press the button. Too drippy to scuff. The blick in the duffel, it came with a muzzle, so why would I?
My point being that I just don't want you to have to rewrite a story to fit into a different mold that it's not made for. It's like deciding that after all, David Corenswet's Superman and that sort of first film shouldn't take place in a universe that's got 300 centuries or whatever of metahumans and deciding that that should be in a grounded story. You're completely rewriting an already established universe to fit a new criteria. If the merge did end up happening, it would be really interesting to see why it happens. So Clayface started filming this week and you've got a first look at the new cop cars for the GCPD, the new uniforms, the new map of Gotham City, which is fucking like perfect comic accuracy. And then you look at the Batman map, it's not gonna, if they're gonna keep these maps, it's definitely not happening. But anyway, yeah, Clayface has started filming and it's so clearly different. I love when new films, like for example the new Peacemaker season, is already linking things into the DCU. There's no mention of any superpowered beings at all in the Batman universe. And again, like I said, it is something that could change, but I don't think it's something that you should change. Do David Corenswet and Pattinson look great together as Batman and Superman? Hell yeah, they do, but I just don't want that. Another point I have is I just want to see some other people play Batman. You don't really get the role of Batman cast very often, but tell me it wouldn't be pretty awesome to have another Batman. My number one pick at the minute, and I know this might have changed since I did my what I want to see in the DCU Batman. My number one pick is Nate Mann. This dude has Kevin Conroy's voice.
The nature of that compulsion, right? That fight, that drive for men who were so young to have that commitment. And I don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't keep that in mind. The psychological component to the devastation up there, right? It's sort of in two fields, because when you're up there and you're just experiencing it, right? And
he has the looks for Bruce Wayne. He has the height. He could absolutely get the physique. And I think because of the possibility of having this guy as Batman in the DCU, I think that's why I'm so against it as well. Is I just want to see other people play Batman as well as Robert Pattinson, because I was one of those that didn't like the Robert Pattinson casting at first, and then I saw that first teaser trailer and I just thought, I'm so wrong. And I watched that teaser trailer every single day up until the film came out, and then it just flew straight up for me on the Batman film list. But why not give Brandon Sklenar, Alan Richardson, I know he just said that he's not doing it, but why not give these guys a chance at playing Batman? And I get that merging them would make sense because you've got a really popular Batman and a really popular Superman, and to see them together would be pretty cool. But I just don't think he fits into this universe. I think it's too early. Now, the only way that I would be open to them putting Robert Pattinson into the DCU is if you had a massive time skip. Like, seriously, this Batman is in year 2. I think he should at least have had... I mean, he's got a bat family in the Brave and the Bold, apparently, so he has to be older. You'd have to do a huge time skip. Clayface and the set photos are making it so obvious that it's a completely different thing. The map is different, the GCPD badge is different, the uniforms are different, the cars are different. I just think it's not what they're going for in the DCU, and I'm curious to see what it's like behind the scenes. Is Gunn trying to get Pattinson and Matt Reeves on board? Are they already on board and, Gunn's hesitant to do it? I'm really curious to see what happens with it. But I do think that we'll be getting a new Batman cast relatively soon, by Christmas. And I don't think it's going to be Robert Pattinson playing him in the DCU. And the thing is, if it did happen, I wouldn't hate it. I'd be more hesitant on it, I think. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Long story short, I just don't think Pattinson fits into this. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. If you guys enjoyed the piece of music that played behind the transition for each topic in this video,
That was made by my good friend Hazard. He's one of the most talented people I've ever met in my life, and he mostly specialises in lo-fi hip-hop, but he's been known to do other things such as alternative and emo rap. The piece you're listening to right now was titled First Year Fistfights by me almost 3 years ago. It was then whipped up by Hazard in a matter of days, and it was the main theme to a Batman fan film that I never ended up finishing. The music was just too good to never be acknowledged, used or heard ever again, so I've included it in this video and I've uploaded it to my second channel, Two Wisted Gods, which you'll find linked in the description. You'll also find Hazard's Spotify link in the description, so please go check him out and show him some love. Thank you all so much for watching.